obvious about that. Like Michelle, she should change her name to Misery Obama. That's really what I think of when Misery Obama never has a positive word to say. Never. Not about children, not about family, certainly not about her husband.
Will the Dems ever win again, as long as they keep hating men? Our video of the day is a 2-for-1 man haters special. First up, Michelle trashes dudes while urging women to act more like them.
What happens when Megyn Kelly and Greg Gutfeld step into the same ring with Michelle Obama? It's not a debate, not a polite Q&A. It's more like a reality show gone off the rails, sarcasm flying, jokes landing, and enough chaos to make you wonder if you clicked the wrong video. Spoiler, you didn't. This is the meltdown you didn't know you needed, and once it starts, you won't look away.
Michelle Obama, listen to this.
And at this phase of my life, I'm in therapy right now because I'm transitioning. You know, I'm 60 years old. I've finished a really hard thing in my life with my family intact. I'm an empty nester. My girls are in, they've been launched. And now for the first time, as I've said before, every choice that I'm making is completely mine.
Divorce rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men.
Michelle Obama moves through the public stage like a perfectly polished brand. Not just a former first lady, she's everywhere. Magazine covers, speaking tours, Netflix deals, inspirational quotes packaged like fortune cookies. She's mastered visibility without admitting it's politics. Those book tours. They're not book tours, they're soft focus campaign rallies with Oprah lighting.
Most women, when they talk about the glorious ability to be a woman, the glorious fact of being a woman, will mention, as you and I both just did, as one of the first things that makes women truly special, the ability to carry and give birth to a child. It's a gift from God. It's such an extraordinary superpower. Here she is on that.
A lot of male politicians, a lot of male religious leaders think about the issue of choice as if it's just about the fetus, the baby, but women's
Every handshake, every outfit, every speech is treated as a cultural event. Her fans see her as untouchable, America's favorite aunt, cloaked in celebrity approval and shielded by a media that frames her as inspirational rather than political.
We're always hedging, because in the back of our minds, we weren't raised with the certainty of maleness that, kind of the confidence that young men in their 30s have, which they haven't earned, they just have it. We don't start feeling that and owning that until our 50s and 60s, at a time when we start to be treated as invisible in society.
So true. And it reminds me of my new book, Women Are Invisible at Age 50, and I couldn't be happier.
But that's where the cracks begin. Megyn Kelly doesn't show up with pom-poms, she shows up with a scalpel. While everyone else praises the gloss, Megyn digs beneath it. Michelle insists she's not political, yet her schedule looks like a shadow campaign, endless appearances, leadership-themed interviews, and brand-building moments that whisper Oval Office without saying it.
These gifts just keep landing on the proverbial doorstep, I mean, the dialogue, if we had credits rolling after that spoof, the script would have been written by one Michelle Obama.
Yes, that's exactly right. No, we have Jake Whitman, who produced it for us. Again, he came, and it was just the three of us, and he gave us like a couple of lines. In particular, he was giving me things that Michelle Obama has actually said, because I think he had the vision of splicing her in. And you almost couldn't believe them. It was like, I think you might need to go back and check that. There's no way that must have come from some other parody.
Megyn knows this trick. She's seen politicians hide ambition behind humility before. Michelle's I'm not running act is just another version. It's like declaring a diet while holding cheesecake in one hand and a fork in the other. If Michelle were truly out, she wouldn't pop up whenever Democrats need a savior. You can't be everywhere all at once and pretend you're just a casual observer.
Not voting for her, blaming it on sexism.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers. When you have a choice that is this clear, part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
There you go. You're sexist. I'm surprised he didn't nag them for not knowing which was their shrimp fork. But Obama, shouldn't you be back on Martha's Vineyard, where the black population is roughly 3%? If he wanted to twist some arms, he should have sent Michelle.
Megyn delivers the reality check. Michelle's persona isn't just inspirational, it's political influence without accountability. The Netflix deals, the paid speeches, the non-political projects, all of them conveniently feed into conversations about leadership and democracy. She gets the perks of power without the blame for policy failures. Megyn cuts right through it.
Time and time again, it was her exact words. She's even more miserable than we portrayed her.
Even more. And since then, I can't wait to see how this is received, because I think it's another banger. But she did that podcast recently where she said, I think you talked about it on your show. We definitely did on The Nerve. Like, oh, she's so glad she and Barack never had a son.
Yeah.
Because God forbid Barack had a Barack Jr. and she would have felt so bad for this child, this boy, who probably would have inherited Barack.
And she doesn't stop there. She dismantles the cultural halo Michelle enjoys. Fashion spreads, magazine shoots, perfectly staged appearances, these aren't random. They're chess moves. Each cover and photo op doubles as armor, shielding her from tough questions. Who dares challenge someone Vogue presents as royalty? Megyn takes a hammer to that illusion, showing that Michelle's non-political brand is actually politics on steroids.
Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To the women listening, we have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better by us. We have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump.
Megyn's brilliance is in restraint. She doesn't shout. She simply piles contradictions until they collapse under their own weight. Michelle says she's not running, yet acts like a candidate in everything but name. It's like someone insisting they hate chocolate while secretly owning stock in Hershey's.
Own blonde origin. And our latest target, as you will see in this little trailer for tomorrow's bigger piece, is Michelle Obama. Watch.
Oh, man. A former first lady with her own podcast.
I'm Michelle Obama. People line up for my advice.
No, not her. This former first lady.
I'm Megyn O. People need to hear from me. Many people don't understand. Not much is covered in the White House.
By the time Megyn's finished, Michelle's polished image already looks shaky. And just as the scalpel lands, Greg Gutfeld crashes in with a smirk. If Megyn is the surgeon, Greg is the wrecking ball, turning contradictions into punchlines the audience can't forget.
So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're hurting women by voting for Trump.
But I think they don't understand that where it comes from in the first place is that people are sick of being told how bad they are and talked down to, and the condescension doesn't work. None of what they're doing really works. I mean, the Walls AOC live stream of them playing Madden together was supposed to be to get like dudes who like football on their side, and they did it during football. Like, who's consulting them on this stuff?
Yeah. It's
a woman, probably, also.
Megyn peeled back the layers. Greg tosses them in a blender. Where she saw strategy, He calls it theater, a Broadway production with bad lighting. The book tours, season premieres, the podcast spots, sitcom cameos. Michelle swears she's done with politics, yet every move looks like an audition tape.
We made it through.
We got out alive.
But what happened to me?
What happened to me? No one talks about it. No, they don't.
With advice that will inspire.
Do you know what having children does to your life? It ruins it.
They mess you up.
What is marriage? It's about misery.
Folks think that this is harsh. It's like you're going to have a bad decade.
We don't articulate our pain.
Yes.
Meet Megyn O. Friday on The Megyn Kelly Show.
I think you're going to like it.
Well done. I love that stuff.
Greg sharpens the absurdity. Michelle isn't admired, she's idolized. Hollywood treats her like a rock star, chasing her SUV like fans chasing a boy band in the 90s. Every Netflix deal becomes a fan club event. Every magazine cover is a backstage pass. Greg skewers the blind worship. If she tripped on live TV, the media would call it a powerful reminder of resilience. If her shoe line fell apart, Vogue would call it avant-garde minimalism.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind. Trump wins with 47% of the vote compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she ruined are finally old enough to vote. Remember that?
What makes Greg's comedy lethal is that it builds on Megyn's groundwork. She exposed the contradictions, he makes them laughable. It's a tag team. Megyn corners the opponent with precision holds, Greg runs in with the flying elbow drop. Serious critique softens the ground, satire burns it down.
Greg grabs the